Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
New rules have been established in the Commonwealth of Virginia to clean up the abortion clinic industry. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. You know, abortion clinic owners in Virginia, Matt, have been fighting against the establishment of new rules and inspections under the law that has been passed by the legislators and also some of the new regulations under the leadership of Governor Bob McDonnell. And in fact, this issue is becoming front and center in Virginia with regards to abortion. Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, has taken a stand for life. Many people don't realize how unregulated these abortion clinics are, but they have become very unregulated. And when you try to impose even the minimal regulation for health and safety, they raise their hands up and say, oh, we can't exist. We're going to go out of business. These are regulated less than most veterinary clinics.
Yeah, Governor McDonnell had signed into law these common sense regulations and oversight of abortion clinics that simply, as you point out, Matt, bring down to the minimal standard of other clinics where surgeries are conducted, other medical clinics. And for some reason, this abortion issue, it is the sacred cow of the left. Any kind of common sense restrictions of the multi-billion-dollar abortion industry, they couch it in euphemistic language of it being an attack on a woman's choice or reproductive freedom, a nonsensical Orwellian kind of language that they use in order to try to push an unfettered pro-abortion agenda without any kind of restriction, without any kind of oversight or regulation. And we see what happens. Women die from abortion clinics. A young woman just recently, her life was ended, as well as the life of her unborn child. Every time somebody walks into an abortion clinic and has an abortion, somebody dies. We know that somebody is going to die, whether it's the mother and the baby remains to be seen. This is a simple common sense step in order to try to ensure that at least moms have a little bit more safety when they walk into these abortion mills.
That's right. Well, some of these abortion regulations that are coming down in Virginia are not only with regards to health and safety, but also regarding to architectural standards, which goes to the issue of health and safety. Virginia Cobb, who is with the Virginia Family Foundation, recently talked about some of the inspections that came about. Now, these abortion clinics had previous notice for some months that they were going to be inspected under these new regulations. Despite that notice, what ultimately she reports is that 9 clinics listed 80 violations on issues including infection prevention, drug storage and dispensing, poor equipment maintenance, and no background checks for employees. The inspection report for a Tidewater Women's Health Clinic in Norfolk, Virginia, listed a number of sanitary issues, including the spilled blood and conception matter in the freezer. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it paints an ugly picture. The clinic's medical director obviously said in a telephone interview that, well, people are going to envision these little babies lying on the bottom of the freezer, but they're not. You know, the fact of the matter is they're not lying in the bottom of the freezer. They're ripped up, thrown in various directions inside of the clinic. You know, I know, for example, of a lady by the name of Angel. This was in Florida, not Virginia, but the problems with these abortion clinics are like this all over the place. She said that when she went there and she had a late-term abortion, she ended up giving birth to this baby, late second, early third trimester, and it died. They induced labor, but they didn't kill the baby, and so she actually went into labor and gave birth to this baby. And little baby Rowan, who died, his picture is listed on our website at lc.org. I went to the morgue to see little baby Rowan. He was in a shoebox, perfectly formed little baby. But when she was there was blood on the wall. There was smelly things with regards to the cloth, the blankets that they gave her. I mean, it was just an atrocious situation. They turned away the medical team when 911 was called by a friend of hers because she had gone into labor, saying, oh, it was just a hysterical woman. We've got everything under control, and little baby Rowan died. I mean, what's going on in these abortion clinics is an atrocity. In addition to the idea that they're just killing these unborn children, it's a grotesque situation that needs to ultimately be, I think, reversed, but certainly at a minimum needs to be regulated.
Well, many of these abortion clinics more resemble a medieval torture chamber than they do a medical clinic, and that's a perfect example right there. And if the inspectors are going in and finding these kinds of filthy conditions and gross violations throughout, which they are, and that results in these abortion clinics being shut down, well, good. They should be shut down. I personally would like to see every abortion clinic in America shut down, but that's not what this law is about. This law is about, again, minimal standards of safety, architectural standards, and so forth, and operational standards within the clinic at the minimal in order to provide safety for women. We know, again, that a baby's going to always die, that babies die in these abortion clinics, you know. And Matt, you mentioned the freezer here. At least they were putting these little dead bodies in the freezer. In this instance, a lot of times these abortion clinics just throw them in trash bags out behind in the alley. We've had a number of instances where people have discovered and exposed abortion clinics for just throwing out what they call bio-waste, these dead little human beings, in the alley behind the abortion clinic. So
these are no different than Nazi Germany with regards to the gas chambers and the experiments that were done and the torture that happened to people. And they ultimately talked about these were lives that were not worth living. And these abortion clinics, they make their money every day. When they go into work, and every day it's killing. Yeah. It's killing the life of an unborn child at various stages. And not only that, but it's damaging these women as well. They could care less about these women. That's why they oppose informed consent. They oppose an ultrasound. How could you be opposing an ultrasound? If you want to go in for a knee surgery, you want to see your CT or MRI or some other diagnostic study to find out what it looks like before you go in and do surgery. But you go into these abortion clinics, you take the life of an unborn child, and these women, the best thing for these abortion clinics to do is to make sure they don't know anything about it. I was just listening to the governor of Texas, and he was talking to a group of pastors. I was speaking to about 800 pastors and church leaders, and he was one of the speakers. And he said that in Texas they brought in this ultrasound requirement. He got a letter from a clinic, a pro-life clinic, that said a lady came in, had gone to an abortion clinic. Under this new regulation in Texas, she had to get an ultrasound. When she saw the ultrasound, she changed her mind on abortion, came to the Pro-Life Crisis Pregnancy Center, and now she's given birth to this child, decided to not kill her child. She didn't know. She was ignorant, unaware of the fact that this child was a human being until she saw it on the ultrasound. Virginia also has some other measures like that as well. And those measures, just giving information, protecting health and safety, will go a long way to protect the lives of these unborn children and the mothers and the families involved. And
that's what it's all about. And you mentioned that, and this is by design. They want to disinform people. So they say, oh, it's just a non-viable mass of tissue. Then they see the baby inside. That's why they're opposed to the ultrasound. They don't want informed consent. They just want consent. Part of the medical establishment is informed consent. They see this as a live human being, and they understand instantly, let's not mince words, that this so-called doctor that's about to see me, what is he? He's not a doctor. He's an executioner. They're going to execute my child. All the staff that works in this abortion clinic, they're complicit in the execution of my child. So this woman saw that, realized that, went to a pro-life clinic, and a life has been saved. But the more that these types of common sense regulations save lives, whether it be the woman or the child, the better.
Well, go to our website at lc.org. What can you do? Obviously, there's a couple of things that we're requesting you to do. First of all, to pray for America, to pray that a culture of life is ultimately restored, to ask for forgiveness for this country's shedding of innocent blood. We're part of the 40 Days to Save America, which is a time to fast and pray. You can go to our website at lc.org. We're encouraging you to fast and pray between now and November 6th for America. And secondly, make sure you're registered to vote and vote your values. if you believe that life is sacred and that we should not take the lives of these unborn children, then it's impossible for you to do one of two things: either to not vote or to vote for somebody who, as your agent, will actually support policies that take human life. Because that act of the agent, your elected official, will be your act, and I believe God will hold us accountable for those acts as well. So vote your biblical values. As you are on Sunday, make sure that you vote that way on Tuesday for men and women that support the sanctity of human life. For more information on what you can do in these areas, go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.